Hi everybody, it's Melanie from the Prepared Household. Wanted to give you a backyard garden update. I hope I don't come across as complaining, because that's not my intention. I'm very ashamed of the state of my garden, but circumstances beyond my control have all conspired against us to make this happen. But hey, you know, we had the torrential spring rains, and that's caused my tomatoes to have the blight. So, you know, I went through and I trimmed them up, and you know, they're doing a little better, but some of them still have traces of it, as you can see this one right here. But I did want to show you about, you know, the newspaper, how well that has worked for me. If you'll look down through here, you'll see this is covered with grass in the middle. Two things: I wasn't able to get enough newspaper to put down this row, and the second thing is I wasn't able to get the loaner tiller to me to help me knock these down. And the third thing is Country Boy's in the hospital, and he's not here to help me. So he's okay. You know, he's having some issues with chest pains, and it's the 4th of July, so you know, they couldn't do anything but keep him in the hospital till they can do some tests, you know, tomorrow on Tuesday. But let me show you this row here where I was able to get the newspaper down, and as you can see, it's practically weed free. That one spot of grass right there is where the newspaper came up. So, you know, there's just hit and miss weeds that I have been pulling along as I could. This grass, you know, it's just almost impossible to pull up. Almost tempted to go over it with a lawnmower, but I think I'm about to get the tiller. Same thing over here with the newspaper between here. I've managed to pull the weeds in between the plants where they've come up through the mulched paper, you know, the shredded paper. But that one patch of grass right there is where the newspaper come up. And this one, of course, doesn't have newspaper in it. But what happened, you know, the spring rains made everything mucky. I couldn't get in there. You can see down there at the end of the row, I don't know if you can see it or not, but where I actually got in there too soon, it's just a muddy mud hole mess back there. And you're going to see the grass over here in my onions. It's pretty bad. And over here in my peppers and my squash. See, we had to put our truck in the shop to get some things worked on while we had the funds, and then our trailer kind of got messed up. The wiring harness broke off of it, so we wasn't able to haul the tiller to us to do any plowing, and we'd asked to have it brought to us, but we didn't have anybody that could bring it to us, and the person that was going to, you know, just kind of got preoccupied. And so it's been about a week or so, and we were already suffering from the weeds, and so they're getting pretty bad. So, and then on top of that, you know, Country Boy's in the hospital, so it's kind of a blessing. If we'd had the trailer, you know, he might have been out here plowing, had some chest pains, could have had a heart attack and fell over dead on me. So actually, I guess it's kind of a blessing in disguise that we didn't have the tiller, you know. So, but I've been going in between here and weeding out between the plants, so maybe we'll be able to get some stuff off of them if they can survive this, all these things that are happening, the weeds, the rain, you know, the disease, the blight. But one good thing is we're getting plenty of cucumbers this year, so I'm really pleased about that. Where I've been at the hospital, I've got a couple that are a little overripe, but I guess the chickens will have fun with that. Or if y'all have any ideas about, you know, whether you can pickle those too or not, I don't know. But I've got about a half a bushel in the house that I need to work on. And then I got these. I'm going to try to work these up and get them in jars and head back up to the hospital to stay with Country Boy tonight. He's having tests tomorrow, and we'll see, you know, how, you know, what's what, and see how it turns out. But just wanted to give you an update on the garden, and you know, really this is something that a prepared household should be prepared for. I should have, you know, worked a little harder to try to get newspaper in between these rows. Couldn't have done anything about the rain. Nothing I could have done about that. except maybe this might be one of those what you call eggs in one basket type situations. Maybe I should have placed some of my tomato plants elsewhere, which I did, the grow box up at the extension office. But unfortunately the rain affected them too. I had a neighbor box, I don't know if I showed you the video, but they have blight all over their tomatoes and it's coming over to mine. So, you know, maybe I could have planted some up there on the hill. Maybe that's what I need to do next year, is just kind of put some here and put some there and see if I can you know, just diversify it a little bit. That way if I have problems in one area, it won't go to the, you know, I won't lose the whole thing. And so, you know, that's one way I could have prepared better. And one thing I wanted to mention is, you know, when you have somebody to help you, when you have a companion or a helpmate, you know, it makes the work a lot easier. You work together, you do things together, and it's actually fun to do things together. And being a woman, I won't sell myself short or anything, but I will admit that plowing is a little bit hard for me because I do have a few health problems myself. I can plow, I have plowed, but it just is easier to have him there to help me to do those heavier things, those harder things to do. You know, like putting this wire up, which he can't do a lot in the garden because he's pretty, he's got some disabilities from his working all of his life at labor, most of his life anyway, and so he's got some problems too, so he can't help me a whole lot, but the little bit that he does help makes a difference. The moral support makes a difference too, and him being in the hospital is kind of hard because you worry, you know, what's going to go on, is he going to be okay? But, you know, I just can't imagine my life without him. I can't imagine doing any of this without him. So, you know, I guess if there's those of you who are doing this without companionship or help, I can really, my heart goes out to you, because I would just feel lost without the country boy. So I hope I've not rambled on too much. I guess I kind of did a little bit, just worrying about my sweetie. But here's my garden update. Keep us in your prayers, y'all. Talk to you later.